get in contact with us, www.cubnlive.com. We got a lot of shit. We got Sparks doing her thing, showing her love for the Lord Jesus. And we got our little babies, Kaylee and Alana, doing their Bible stories. All right, coming to the chat room, talk stories with everybody else in there. I do the news. That's what I do. My name is Troy. I'll be your host, and this is CUBN News. All right, what we got on the news today is it time to reestablish the Davidic kingdom in Israel. That is breaking news, Israel news. Is it time to reestablish the Davidic kingdom in Israel? Then I will establish the throne of thy kingdom over Israel forever, according as I promised to David thy father, saying, there shall not fail thee a man upon the throne of Israel. 1 Kings 9:5, the Israel Bible. It might come as a shock to many to learn that hundreds of descendants of King David are alive today, with verifiable family trees dating back 90 generations, and that the royal Davidic dynasty could potentially be established today in Israel. Though some may be skeptical of the genealogical proof, many secular researchers of genealogy have studied the line of David. The research is facilitated by the fact that a number of European monarchs throughout history have gone to great lengths to prove family ties of the Davidic dynasty. And a solid ancestry has been established within the Jewish community. Genealogical studies have shown several families that can claim descent occur, father to son, in a direct line. Most notable, the Dayan, Shealtiel, and Charlap Dan Yichia families. Please excuse me for reading those names. They're very complicated. Most of these families come from the Aleppo, Syria. Susan Roth founded the Davidic Dynasty organization in 2000 to gather and reunite Davidic descendants in the holy city of Jerusalem. Ruth has a personal interest as well, tracing her lineage back to King David through Rabbi Shlomo Yissacharai. The preeminent 11th century French Torah scholar, known by the acronym Rashi, please forgive me. Her registry currently listed approximately 150 descendants who have verifiable descent to King David. However, efforts to introduce this reality into the mainstream Judaism has met with surprising resistance. When she first compiled her list, Roth contacted Israel's chief rabbinate to inform them of her registry, but surprisingly, they expressed no interest. They were shocked, but they never followed up. My interest was simply to do God's will, but they understood it as a political agenda. They don't want King David's dynasty and they don't want Messiah, Roth told Breaking Israel News. Even though it is clear Messiah is here, he is just hiding, she added. One of her discoveries was Mitchell Dayan. In 1983, Dayan was mourning for his brother, amazed at the number of visitors who claimed to be from his family. He began to research his genealogy. Dayan's research led him to a book called Yasher Moshe, a commentary on Song of Songs, written in 1864 by Rabbi Moshe Dayani. In the prologue to the book, please forgive me, the rabbi listed his genealogy leading back to King David. In this list, Mitchell found the name of his great-grandfather from Aleppo. Another genealogic list was found in Cairo, Ginza, a storehouse of over 300,000 Jewish documents discovered in the late 1800s. The two lists were almost identical, despite the Cairo lists being compiled hundreds of years earlier. Through these sources, Mitchell Dayan was able to verify his lineage back 87 generations to the King David. The actual descendants may not know it, but there are descendants of King David alive today, Dayan told Breaking Israel News. This was professed in the Bible, but it is also fact. Politics are irrelevant. It is going to happen one day or another. For thus saith Hashem, there shall not be cut off unto David a man to sit upon the throne of the house of Yisrael, Jerusalem. 33:17. In 2005, another Dayan, Bobby Yosef Davan, was recognized by the Nascent Sanhedrin as a district descendant of the King David and, as such, a candidate to re-establish the Davidic dynasty. Similar to Mitchell Dayan, his discovery came as a result of a death in the family. Soon after he immigrated to Israel in 1968, Rabbi Dan buried his grandfather in Jerusalem. He was surprised to see inscribed on the headstone the words "Em Bet David," from the house of David. Rabbi Dan discovered that this inscription was a family custom dating back to their origins in Alpil. Several years later, Rabbi Dan received an antique document from a cousin which lists his genealogy, showing him to be the 89th generation from King David. This document was verified by Rabbi Mordechai Eliyahu, the former chief Sephardi rabbi of Israel. This concept of family tradition is not surprising. Rabbi Dan told Breaking Israel News, the Kohanim priests have a family tradition that they are descendants from Iran, the priests, before King David. And this tradition is totally accepted by the rabbis. This tradition has been proven accurate by DNA testing. Rabbi Dan is disappointed by the lack of acceptance by rabbinic authorities and mainstream Judaism. Just as the Kohanic tradition is accepted, the same should be true for the descendants of King David. But even more so, Rabbi Dan said We have written family trees, and our tradition is engraved on gravestones for the offspring to take note of their ancestry. Breaking Israel news. Ask Rabbi Dan why he thought there exists so much resistance to acknowledging the Davidic dynasty. On why there exists so much resistance to acknowledging the Davidic dynasty, Rabbi Dan explained. There is a basic error in understanding the kingdom of David. The Mashiach is already here. Oh, the Messiah. The Messiah is already here. The Mashiach is already here. The Mashiach in Hebrew means anointed. So that could be Messiah. I don't know. It is not a miracle. The family of David exists, and it is waiting for Israel to choose one and anoint him. By claiming incorrectly that there are no living descendants of King David, the Mashiach becomes dependent upon a miracle from heaven, thereby absolving the rabbis from any responsibilities for taking action to bringing the Messiah. Enjoy this article. Oh my goodness. How crazy is that? So I don't want to believe that guy is who he says he is. You know? Regardless of all the information he's put in front of them, all the evidence he has, they just don't want to believe that who he is what he is. That is it time to reestablish the Davidic kingdom in Israel. Is it time to look into that more, a little bit more detail into that?